So now we're on to closing thoughts and Q&A. So this is where if you've got any questions, now is the time to ask them. Because we'll be wrapping it up soon. It's already a long one.
Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts.
Defense, I think, in the long run, becomes one of the most important things. Learning defense, or like learning the proper strategy, ask. Never seen one. But it's worth it. The more your defense improves, the more you can relax. Because you're not really afraid of anything, you know your options, you know what you're supposed to what the character. So it doesn't even matter who you're playing, what their characteristics are as a player. You just know what, like, you know the software of this character. And that goes way further than the skill level.
Alright, so for me, I think defense is definitely a really important part of the game. From what I've seen, it's usually where most players are lacking the gameplay. A lot of fake players know how to attack, but don't know how to defend. So I think it's really important to learn how to do that, because getting good defense will definitely up your game quite a bit.
Down that.
You have to be off axis to the right to get that to work.
I'll never. As long as I live. I'm not even.
Alright. Anyways, also, reading your opponent is something that's it's really important, but it's also one of the most difficult things. It's really important to make sure you're paying attention to what they do, what their habits are. So just practice paying attention to your opponent. You might even spend some games just like the first round, don't even pay attention to what you're doing, just see what they like to do, and see if you can then take what you learned from the first round and make them pay for it. So Hasty Steve, you missed, I don't know when you stopped out, but we're just about to close up shop here. We're doing questions and answers. So if anyone has any questions or want answers, we'll be doing that for now, for a bit.
There's always a way to stop the tactic in Tekken. No single tactic is the best. So like Evan said, paying attention in one way, shape, or form grants you what you need to survive. Stay alive, which, like you said in the very beginning, is the most important. You have the health, smash the buttons that you...
Alright, so let's see. Iron Spider Lord asks, when learning character matchups, what's the next step after labbing key moves? I might know what to sidestep or what move they might try to sidestep, but I don't necessarily know when they'll do it, or will I be making card reading? Okay, so if you're blocking, that means whatever they're throwing out at you will probably not be hitting, unless it's a low poke. So if you're blocking, you're not going to be making hard read, because hard read means you're committing to an action.
Happens or not.
Right. So you can use your knowledge of their moves during your blocking to try and punish them if they throw out a punishable move, or so if you know that after a certain move they like to do a certain other move, if you can step that other move to a certain way, you can try doing that. But after you're labbing key moves, by labbing key moves, I'm assuming you've already figured out what's punishable and know how to punish it, because I would think that would be part of considered labbing key moves. But if you haven't done that, that would definitely be next on the list. Yeah, so after you know the key moves and what's punishable, then a lot of it comes down to player tendency. So that's when you need to really be paying attention to what they like to do and how they like to do it. So if you can get a hard read off of that, like if you know they're going to do a low at a certain point, you can do hard reads that way. Or you can do soft reads by setting them up for something and trying to bait them into doing something. Let's see, Hasty Steve says, like Eddie say, I was about to use Paul's Death Fist, he's top kicked by Lei or Yoshi.
Death Fist is a pretty slow move, I
That's 16. That's perfect execute.
So if you are on any negative frames, hop kick will, or actually, I don't know, hop kick is 50.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. That Hasty.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I said, just try your best to pay attention. Because I mean, if someone does something like they go for wipe the floor, or they like go for if they go for the way, and they do like a mid, you know, yeah, they're doing this, but you know that they're not blocking. So instead of like trying to block the mix up, just like, you know, you could interrupt it or something. It all comes down to paying attention. Not easy. But practice, you'll get the tendency now.
Anyways, I'm going to play a few games and answer any questions that come in.
Oh yeah, Q&A.
Some Q&A, and so we'll play like a first to 5 and then call it a night.